All right, we are live. We are live. Oh man, it's been a minute, family. Um, I got a lot that I want to get off my chest on today. So, without further ado, welcome to the Your Perspective Matters podcast. I am your host, Ronald Wynn. This is a personal growth podcast where we are focusing on having uncomfortable conversations. I truly believe that my what you call it, my saying, right, or quote rather, that I love to honor every time, my mantra, um, is uncomfortability breeds growth, right? In order for you to grow, you have to face uncomfortable conversations. And I was listening to something prior to this, which inspired me actually to do this episode, right? And to just be honest and transparent and vulnerable. Oh, it's gonna get good. It's gonna get good, gal. Because I want to talk about my inconsistency with the podcast episodes recently. Right? I want to talk about that. Reason why is because I was also created a series that I'm been wrote for a long time, just haven't fully like went in depth the way I'm doing now. Um, Series on focus, right? I believe this year is the year of focus, and the one thing that I understand and that I've heard preachers preach, I've even spoke about it many times to people, is that when you are trying to be focused, when you are on a path of being focused, there will be so many distractions. And I gotta be honest and say that I wasn't as focused as I thought I was. I wasn't as determined as I thought I was, right? I didn't want it as bad as I thought I did. And it kind of hurts. Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, let's really get real. Like, let's get vulnerable, right? I want to ask you guys a question. And the question is, has it ever been a time in your life where there's a goal or something that you wanted to accomplish, or maybe you wanted to become somebody, and as you are growing in your situation, you don't feel um I want to say this in a better way. Let me revamp that, right? Has it ever been a time in your life where your work ethic, or the season that you're in, is showing you more that you don't want what you intended? You don't want what you set out to in the first place. Because I, for sure, like, in this situation, I do want and desire the success of this podcast. And not just for monetary sake, or not just to get my name and lights and all that. I could care less about any of that, to be honest. But it's really to impact. And one thing that I had to realize is you have to really take accountability and responsibility of your own faults and actions. And I do that all the time. Actually, I do that very well. But it's just been recently where I kind of been stuck in that. And it has not been a happy place for me, I want to say, right? I've been feeling great, but I have not been doing the greatest of things, right? Has anybody felt like that? Where they feel great, but they just haven't been doing great things? You know? My output is not really reflecting my input. And that's also because I haven't input um maybe the right tools, right? Or I haven't input the right word in me, or the right instruction in me to really take action on some things. So getting with this episode, I was listening to, what's his name? think it's Darius Covington, if I'm not mistaken, right? Shout out to you. I'm definitely going to be tapping in a lot more in your podcast because God has drew me into a clip of yours, and now I'm fully locked in. Like I also think that we take for granted the access we have to people, and I think social media. I don't think I believe social media, including YouTube and Google, gives us access to so many people. And Darius has been coming on my timeline for a long time, and I would see a clip here and there, but maybe I won't even look at it all the way. I might skip it, but this one clip, um, I can't even really say everything that he said, but the gist of it was he was really just being honest. He was really just being transparent. And one of the things that he did say that stuck out was that his focus was aesthetics and not necessarily the episode. When his viewers focused more on the episode and didn't really care about the aesthetics. And that can be something that can challenge you. That can be something that can stop you from progression or even starting something great. Is those small little things. So I want to I'm doing this off the top of my head because I feel like there's so much in me right now that I just got to get out. But I feel like I I feel like I've been trying to do more of focus on the aesthetics, and it has been hindering me. Even though aesthetics can be a great thing, it's pleasing to the eye, all that good stuff. And it makes you look sexy, it makes you look good, it makes you look serious. But if you put in the value, it does not matter all the time how it looks. Because what people deem as valuable, they will pay for it. They will monetarily pay funds for it, and they would pay attention to it, right? So I he inspired me to just get up. I was laying in my bed, and he inspired me to get up and do this episode. And to be honest about my not so focused effort. And I want to apologize. I know I put it on social media that I was, I apologize, but I want to, in this episode, apologize for my inconsistency. Because for me to say that I don't really care so much about the looks, or rather the money and the my name to be known and all of that, um, it I have to. I'm going to attack myself, right? I'm going to challenge myself in this moment because as much as I can say that I don't care about the money and all the materialistic things, my actions does not show it so much. Reason why is because I care more about the impact and the value that I bring. But if I'm not consistent, why do I feel like I got a bite on me? That's crazy. I don't know why. Um, but if I'm not consistent enough, then how serious am I? How serious am I of getting myself in those rooms? How serious am I of making sure that I am consistent with this and give the value? I know I have tremendous. I talk to people every single day. I had a beautiful conversation with the lady I work on today, and it was no coincidence that, because usually we're all in groups, and for some reason, it was just me and her. There were more people there, but I was only specifically just working with her. And the conversation, we really got to know each other. We really got to, she's like, she gave me like those momish vibes so much. Like it just reminded me of my mom. Um, and she get to see my intellect. She got to witness my conversation, because my conversation, if you haven't had one, I ask that you book a consultation. I ask that you DM me and or just hit me up and let's have a convo. But my conversation leads to transformation, right? There is, and I don't want to be like I'm this super perfect person, but I'm super amazing, that's for sure. I am a phenomenal person, and I have tremendous value and information to give, right? I don't hoard anything, or I don't desire to keep things within myself. I'm willing to give it, you know. Um, and my conversation leads to transformations. And she was able to be super inspired. She was able to, and she's older. She's like 40 something. Um, so she was able to be inspired. She was able to be touched. She had some aha moments. And that's what happens when you have a conversation with me, because I'm going to reveal who I am every single time. Like it's just what it is, you know. I just love being who I am. Um and that those conversations deserve, as consistent as I am with having them in person, I need to have them on this podcast. Like it's doing me, or it's doing all of us rather, a disservice if I'm not able to record these moments. So I just want to first attack my inconsistency, because I was not consistent. Like I fully understand and I'm aware, and it hurts when I'm not putting my best foot forward. I'm fully aware that when I don't show up, people are affected by it. When I don't show up, that um people's lives don't get changed. I'm not saying I'm Jesus, but what I am saying is that God has given me a gift that I thought, and the funny part, and I've spoke about part of my story before, but me speaking wasn't like me being able to do this right now. If we was to talk about this when I was like in my teens, right, or even early 20s, I would not have been able to have a conversation like this. Not at all. I couldn't go off the dome. I could nah. Let alone have a conversation with somebody on the podcast. Nah, it wouldn't even work. You know, so I had to, excuse me, go through a lot of personal development, and it was a lot of self awareness in my journey. Like it was a lot, and I believe that it's a lot of self aware for everybody, because there's gifts in us all, and many times we don't recognize those gifts. But if you allow yourself to go through the journey and be curious, right? If you allow yourself to be curious, when you are curious, you are open. And because I was super open, it allowed me to receive and even try, be so daring that I was able to try different things. I'm like, man, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's just what that's the worst thing that could happen. Whoop de doo. It ain't gonna kill me. That's for sure. So, um, I'm just honored, number one, to be self aware of my gift, and I want to be able to steward over it well. Like I know there's many people that I've had conversations with that were so life changing. Like there were some people that were on the brink of suicide. There were some people on the brink of never speaking to their parents. There were some people that were on the brink of giving up in their businesses. There were some people that were wanting to not seek the relationship with their parents. Like, is though a lot of those situations that I was able to speak to, and It changed their life completely. Now you got them developing the relationship. You got with their parents, even sometimes with their spouse, and even more so realizing the inner part. Like you can't develop a sustainable. I got flies in here. You can't what you call it? You can't develop a sustainable relationship without developing a sustainable relationship with yourself, without realizing and knowing who you are as a person. So this is like a continuous kind of thing, right? Um, and I was supposed to then finish this series and go on to so many other deep things. Um, but I haven't been, and I kind of want to challenge myself because so in the series, right, we're speaking on focus, and we now know F is faith, right? Which means, are you? The question that I have is, are you willing to? Do you believe regardless of, right? Do you believe regardless of whatever you're going to go through, the goal that you desire, the goal that you want to accomplish? Can you have a faith that's strong enough to last through the test, right? Then we learned also that the O stands for obedience, right? Are you willing to listen to instruction? Because there's going to be times where in order for you to get to the thing, you have to be there's going to be some guidance rather, right? That's going to be there, and you are going to be able to obtain I said favor. Yes, favor, but more so you're going to be able to obtain direction. And if you can't take instructions and directions properly, then you're going to be misguided. You're going to be taking the wrong turns, and you're going to your process or your journey is going to take a lot longer, right? Um, and I guess this is really for me on today, right? If it's for you, comment in the chat or comment in the on the episode. It was for me because the C in focus stands for confidence. Whoo, confidence. Like, had I done this episode when I was supposed to, it probably wouldn't have hit me the way it is now. But it's hitting me deep because the question, and I have a question for each one of the, each one of the letters. But for C in confidence, the question I have is, how are you performing? How are you performing? And I have, as I'm coming at myself, right? I am super inconsistent. I have been super inconsistent. Now, don't get me wrong, I am still doing work. Even though you're not seeing podcast episodes, right? I'm still doing work. I still have some content that I actually started to edit and put together that I have not released. I shout out to the merch. Shout out to the merch, right? We're doing some things. And the merch is actually officially going to be launching very soon. Yeah, launching very soon. So stay tuned for that. If you have not already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, but more so subscribe to the Instagram underscore your perspective matters, so that way you can see the content on when my release date is, right? And I have it these two that I'm wearing right now is actually not going to be for sale. Maybe the hat, maybe, but definitely not the hoodie for sure. Um, I think you know what I might do. I might just sell this hat live, right? So this might be a live kind of thing. Um, but overall, I have some custom merch specifically for the podcast that you have not seen yet, and I really, really, really like. And so that's been some things, even though I have not been doing the consistent work of posting and creating the episodes, I have been doing some back end work, right? I have been focusing on the merch line. I have been focusing on the what you call it. I've been focusing on the merch. I have been focusing on learning a lot more with the podcasting and developing some things and talking to some people about getting more um, guests or whatnot. Even though honestly, I think getting guests is the easy part for me. I I don't think it's a challenge. I think I can get guests. Um, it's more so about what we talk about. Um, that's still not even the challenge, to be honest, because I have topics like crazy. But really, the challenge is me being able to be consistent with recording. That's really it. So this is me. I will be bulk recording for sure on today. But yeah, so I have been doing some work. I just have not been consistent in the area that I feel is really needed because I want to grow my audience and I want you guys to be able to understand that I am trustworthy, and that I do have value. And I know that you guys know that I have value, but if I'm not putting myself in an area to show you what my value is, you'll never be able to see it. So shame on me, right? But I am human, right? So I do have to give myself grace. Um, but I'm not making up any excuse for the lack of work. There is a lot more work that I have to do, and I have to work harder at being consistent. Um, yeah, I have to be. Another thing that also played a part in me not being able to do episodes is I felt discouraged because of my production. I don't have a fancy setup or whatnot. I don't even got mics, right? I'm leveraging my AirPods, right? My Samsung earbuds, and I have a phone, which is that's literally all you need to do to be able to start a podcast, right? But eventually, as time grows, right, for those that want to start a podcast, you want to make sure that number one, you got your audio, right? That sounds really good. So try not to use your phone as the audio and try to use your earbuds so it'll sound a lot clearer, you're a lot closer. And two is make sure that you have a good phone that can be able to record some quality video, right? And I also have a tripod. So this is it's not like it's sitting on a desk or something. It's on its own stand, which is a beautiful thing. So, and then I got a lighting right here too that helps as well. But I was intimidated, or not even intimidated, but I was discouraged because I wanted to do more, right? I want to, which I'm about to purchase, is a specific type of mic that's going to be on this desk, which is dope. I also purchased a green screen so that way I can, change up the scenery, which is going to be super dope. Um, what else we got? Those are some things that I purchased. Um, but yeah, that was one of the things that hindered me from doing the podcast. And then on top of that, I was just extremely tired. And I am also going to be doing, FYI, a audio version only of the podcast. Right? So I know that every time I record on YouTube, I also take the same episode and put it on all of the audio sites. But there's going to be a version of the podcast where it's just going to be strictly audio only. So I haven't come up with the title of that segment yet, but stay tuned because I'll be on the go and I can record on the go, you know? You don't have to see my face. As long as you hear my voice properly, you're able to listen to the episode, which is dope. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on as well. That's another extension to the podcast, as well as adding episodes to the podcast. So that way I can get some things done. Like, I want to get ahead of, and these are some things that I was literally within the last couple of days that I've been, I haven't even jotted it down, but I have it completely in my head, is I want to make sure that I am doing all the work that I need to be doing, right? And I want to make it where I never have to, like, every week an episode is coming up, right? So for those that are starting a podcast or interested in starting a podcast, once you got your camera set up or your phone set up, you got your audio or your mic, what you need to do is, number one, you need to have your topics, right? I have a plethora amount of topics, so the topics are easy for me, and there's more that are added every single day. So topics for me are easy, but if it's difficult for you, make sure that you write out a list of about 100 minimum topics. Minimum. If you really want to take it seriously, you'll go 200, but 100 minimum, right? If that's too much, let's start off with 50 and we can add, but no less than 50, right? And then you want to record, at least to get your consistency up, one episode per week, right? That's 4 episodes a month. If you record 12 episodes in, let's just say, a week or 2 weeks time, that means that you did 3 months of content or 3 months of videos, right? Because if it's 4 episodes a month, 1 episode a week, 4 episodes a month, right? 2 months is 8 episodes. 3 months is 12, right? If you can make 24 videos in a whole month time frame or a couple weeks time frame, you now did 6 months of recorded videos. And now all you have to do is, if you want to edit, you can do your editing thing, right? Add some things in there, take some things out, do what you gotta do, make it look nice and spicy. You have more time to edit and create short form content throughout the weeks leading up to your other episodes. So I just saved you a hell of an amount of time. And why should you do it this way? The reason why you should bulk record, right, is because when things happen, not if it happens, but when it happens, you want to be prepared. What happens if it's your mom's birthday or somebody passes away or you get into overtime at work, or you got a family emergency and you got to take a couple weeks off? Like, you can still work wherever you're at. Like, it's not like you're stuck with that. I got to be in my studio. Now, you don't even have to be home to publish these things, right? Once it's recorded, like I use Riverside, right? And with Riverside, once I record it, it goes to the cloud in Riverside. Then wherever I go, I can literally upload it to YouTube and upload it to Spotify. Literally, you can take, if you have a laptop, even better. You take your laptop and you can do that with you everywhere. That's a mobile computer, right? So there's no excuses to this. And these are things that I've learned on my journey, right? And I'm very confident about this information, right? Hence, my first bullet point is confidence comes from how well you know the information. Now, this information I have been doing for quite some time, but I've also have been studying other people. So I've been looking at all types of podcasts, not only just like the positive ones, but even the ones that may be a little negative, right? You have to pay attention to what is it that people are doing that is getting the attention, right? And that number one is they are staying with their niche or niche, however you want to say it, right? They're staying with the thing that they want to brand their show off of. And then they are being consistent with showing up. Super key. You want to be consistent with showing up on every single week. Because what happens is the moment that you don't show up, people are going to be discouraged or upset because you didn't show up. Or they're just going to say, you know what, I'm turning the channel. If you're not on today, which you were supposed to be, it's cool. There's 1,000,000,000 others shows that I can watch. So that means that you'll be replaced. And I'm pretty sure that I have been replaced, but I'm about to gain back all the people that I lost. And then multiply, 10x it, right? Literally. And I'm going to show you on this episode, I'm going to show you within the next upcoming months, because I'm definitely going to be bulk recording for sure. Like, I ain't playing no more games. I got to get this done because I never know how my weeks will turn out to be, you know? And then on top of that, I'm trying to do more. I want to get back into teaching how to trade. That is also a passion of mine. So I want to commit to, I think it was, actually I'm going to commit Sundays to it. Sunday evenings to, early Sunday evenings to recording. To teaching, right? Just about an hour and a half, of teaching how to trade. So if you want to be a part of that, definitely stay tuned, or you can get connected with my trading page, which is _Storytellers Academy. That is _Storytellers Academy. That's my trading page. And I will be releasing a course for sure with that. I'll be releasing a masterclass, a 5-day masterclass on that as well. But yeah, family, I just had to come on here and express some things about my inconsistency. And I know for sure that there's someone else that that has been there, or if not have been there, that's already there. Like, you have to show up. And it's okay that you are not showing up, or no, let me say this right. It's okay that you mess up, right? In other words, you're not perfect. So if you don't show up, it is not the end of the world. We just have to, excuse me, we just have to bounce back. We just have to focus up, and we have to put in the effort and the work. Going back really quick into my notes, I only have 3 more notes so that way I can really get up out of here. The first one was confidence comes from how well you know the information, right? So as you can see, I know this information well, so I can distribute confidence, right? And the key part about confidence is doing the thing. You could research, you could get on the calls, you could study people, you could go to the conferences all you want, but if you are not doing the actual work, you'll never be confident. At all. At all. So I dare you, I triple dog dare you, quadruple dog dare you to find something that you aren't confident in that you want to do, and just do it. Don't even focus on how you look. Don't focus on how good you are. Do it, because you need to create that consistency so you can be able to show off how confident you are. Number two, knowing it well is determined, right? So we know that confidence comes from how well you know the information. But knowing it well is determined by doing the information repetitively, which is what I was just saying, right? Doing the information repetitively, meaning how many times you do it, and consistently, meaning how often you do it. I got that from my part of my master class, day 2 of my master class, because when we talk about repetitively and consistently, right? The example that I want to give is repetitively. It could be, hey, I went to the gym twice. I went to the gym twice today. Consistently could be, I go to the gym twice twice a week. So I'm going to the gym every week, twice a week, right? But in those gyms, in those times that I'm doing it repetitively is how many times I'm doing it within that day, right? So I'm going twice, let's just say morning and nighttime, right? Early morning or sometime in the evening, right? So that's twice a day, but I'm doing this every week. So let's just say Mondays and Thursdays are my days for gym, which means in total I'm hitting the gym 4 times a week. So as long as I consistently do it, as long as I keep on working on my repetitiveness and my consistency, I'm good to go, right? That will show how well you know something, because as long as you keep on doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, right, you're putting your reps in, right? Another thing when it comes to working out could be, hey, let's just say push-ups, or let's just say any kind of routine you're doing. Your repetitiveness is your reps, right? I'm going to do 50 reps, but your consistency is I'm going to do 5 sets, right? So 5 sets of 50 reps, which is now 250 push-ups. The more you do it like this, and I want to break these paradigm. I want to break this paradigm shift in your mind, because there's some people that may want to, let's just say, get up. Okay, let's go here, right? There's people that specifically with work, business, or even working out, you burn out, and you don't need to overwork yourself. Whoever told us that we need to be working thousands of hours a day just to get the job done is wrong. Because many people that have been doing that for years, they may be successful now, cool. They put some reps in, but they put it at the expense of their health. So now they have success with a lot of these health issues, with a lot of these mental health issues and physical health issues. So you can't fully enjoy it the way you really want to, because you put yourself at risk. So I want to help you with not having to put yourself at risk. You can become literally better. You can become extremely better every week or every year just by going off the 1% rule, right? Every single day, challenge yourself to become 1% better. By the end of the year, you are up 365%, right? That's a consistent. Like my reps is one rep. I'm putting in 1 rep. Let's just say, right? But you put 1 rep for 365 days. That means I haven't missed a beat, right? you become 100, not 100%. You do 1% gain or be 1% better every single day. Okay, I did this today. How do I do 1% better tomorrow? Then how do I do 1% the next day? And keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going until there's no more days in the year. And guess what? Even if you did it 100 days out the year, you're up 100%. Hello. So you don't have to burn out to be successful or to get better. You just have to be consistent. How often are you going to be doing the thing? Right? It's not about, what is it? It's not about how much you do, but it's about how long you last. Some people want to put out so much, but then they only last for a week. And that's it. Now it's a wrap. That's why I was telling you, put in 100 topics. You do 100 topics, you can make, even if you do 50 topics, right? If you do 50 topics, you can create 3 different episodes at minimum for each topic, talking about that specific topic, right? You can change the name of the episode or whatever, but it's still gearing towards that same topic. So now you have 150 videos that you can record based off of a list of 50. Now, if you did 100 topics, you multiply that by 3 because you could do 3 episodes a topic. That's 300. How many of us are recording 300 videos in 1 year? You're not. You're not. You're probably doing like maybe about 50 episodes a year if you're doing it once a week. 50 something videos. So you have now, I showed you how to get how to be 3 to 6 months ahead of recording, right? But now I also just showed you how much it takes for you to have 3 years ahead. If it's only 50 videos a year and you have 300 videos, or let's just say you got 50 topics, right? 50 topics, that's 150 videos. You now have 3 years of videos. So you're already ahead of the game. And just release them. Boom, 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 boom. Keep doing the 3 to 6 month rule of recording, and you lit. Literally, you can get your whole year worth of content done in 2 months, maybe 60 days. Lock in 60 days of recording, and then boom. Especially, oh my God, especially if you didn't even start, you actually have more of an advantage than the people that are already recording it, that already have an active podcast. Because if we become inconsistent, it's like, damn, why are you not showing up? But you don't have that problem because you never came out with nothing. So now you bulk record and you have 3 to 6 months of videos recorded. You can work on marketing. You can work on having a proper launch for your podcast, building the traction and everything, creating some content, and then, creating the short form contents even throughout releasing the stuff. And you ain't even got to stress yourself on recording. And then if you was to get together with somebody and hire somebody to do the editing for you, all you got to do is focus on the recording. You work hard, get your 2 months in, boom, you ain't got to record again for the rest of the year. For the rest of the year. So I'm just trying to help y'all from my personal experience and my own mistakes, because I know someone can take off with this, right? I watch it every day. Somebody um start a podcast and then they're already at like episode 50. Ron, what are you doing? Like I had to come at myself, and yeah, we can go with, hey, your journey is your journey, but if I'm not putting in the work, then that's just really what it is. So I had to be honest with myself and say, I just really was not putting in the work that I needed to put in. I was causing more pain or harm to myself by overthinking and making things a lot more difficult, which we all do. So I challenge you, I double dog dare you to do it. Just do it, like Nike. Just do it, right? Um, Point number three is it requires action, right? Which was really what I stated in the beginning. Like, you cannot be able to gain confidence. You won't ever be able to know something well if you never have done it. I don't care if you have a degree, a master's degree, a PhD, all of that good stuff, whatever D that you need. Pause. You will not be able to be good or great or just knowing it well. I want to be able to know the information well. I had to learn the hard way that experience trumps over certifications and degrees completely. Like, I would much rather spend money on a master class or a master class or some sort of course versus putting money into school. I'm not knocking anybody else that desires to go to school, but it's not in my life. It's not for me, right? I've I wanted to go to college, but it just wasn't in the cards, because now I realize that even with a lot of information that's in college, it's putting you back to square one. Why do I waste 4 to 8, and sometimes some of us are even 12 years of my life going to school just to go back and work in another field just to make some money? Nah, I need to be in the midst of that. I need to be making some money, which means that if I'm making money in the midst of before completing, for sure, I need to have something sustainable. I need to have something in the field that I'm studying. But it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And then the last one, um, it it draws you closer. Whoa, I think I wrote that wrong. Yeah, draws you closer to her. Okay, I don't know what I was saying with that. But overall, don't be scared of failure. That's the part, right? In order for you to really be confident and to perform well, you can't be scared of the negative outcome. Many times we attach that negative outcome, which discourages us from starting in the first place. Oh, well, statistically, most people don't be successful. Oh, well, there's a lot of people that aren't doing it. Oh, there's a lot of different why would I come out with the same type of company if, it's already out there? They're not going to buy my product. You know what I tell people when I tell them, hey, you should start this company, and they're in a field where it's super popular, that everybody's doing it. You know what I tell them? I tell them, I want you to think of, I want you to name the water brands that you know, that you drink and that you don't like, right? Do that, right? I had this one person name them, and she named about 10. And I said, okay, out of those 10 brands of water, who's not selling? Or much rather, who's more focused on who? None of them is focused on each other. They're all selling because there is a need for you to drink water. If you are able to become the solution to a need, you'll always be sellable. Always. There will always be a need for you. So just because you're in the fashion business, just because you created you want to create a clothing line, or you want to do nails, you want to do hair, you want to do, computers, whatever it is, as long as there's a need for it, you just have to be consistent. Gotta be consistent. You gotta show up. If you fail, guess what? That means that you're able to learn. I've had my moments. I can't say that I fully, completely failed in terms. I think full failure is really quitting, and there's nothing that I'm doing that I would quit unless if God tells me to quit. There's nothing that I'm gonna right now. Ooh, it's going to take the word of God, His voice, His confirmation to say, "Hey, you don't need to be doing this." Literally. But yeah, don't be afraid of failure. Don't attach. We have to eliminate our production or our performance level. From detach it from the results. We have to detach it. We can't. We have to just go and do. As you do, there will be. As you do, there will be. Simple enough. So again, I challenge you to just do the thing that scares you the most. Because when you start to put in that work, you're going to be like, I was scared of this. I was procrastinating over this small thing. Are you serious? And best believe, it makes you more valuable because you've overcome it. And there's so many people that have that same problem, which means that you become the solution by overcoming your own problem. Hello. So, with that being said, I appreciate you guys for tapping in with the Your Perspective Matters podcast, personal growth podcast. I had to get uncomfortable on today, as always. Very, very soon, I'm going to be releasing some more guests. Right, I have some that are already recorded that I have not posted. But I want to finish out this series. We have one more. I know we did sacrifice ahead of time, which is the S in focus. But we're going to be doing the U, which is the last one. And then we're going to move on to some great things. So, if you haven't done it already, I want you to please like the YouTube YPM Pod, right? YPM space pod on YouTube, and subscribe to it as well, right? So you can get the notifications for when we publish a new episode. And then I also want you to follow us on all audio platforms, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff, right? Google. Google's actually about to stop. So soon, actually, well, in a couple of days, it's no longer going to be available on Google, but definitely Apple, Spotify, and all the other ones. I'm on there at Your Perspective Matters. Lock in with the merch, right? Follow us on _ Your Perspective Matters on Instagram, so that way you can find out when the merch is coming out, so you can cop that, because I'm definitely going to be. I already ordered a couple pieces more for the merch that I'm actually going to be selling, so you're going to see that in the upcoming episodes. So stay tuned on that. I'll see you on the next episode. Why? Because your perspective matters.